Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Gyan Bhakti. We are currently exploring the holy scripture Mysticism of Ramayana. Commentaries by my Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananji Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. We are currently on Uttarkand, and in yesterday's satsang we had covered Rama returning to Ayodhya to be coronated. So let's continue. Men and women everywhere hastened to welcome Rama, and as they looked upward, they saw that aerial car proceeding swiftly towards Ayodhya. Rama then prompted the aerial car to come down, and Sita, Lakshmana, Vibhishana, and all the great leaders of the monkey bear army alighted. Rama then instructed the aerial car to go back to its rightful owner, Kubera, the god of treasures. Then Rama, Lakshmana and Sita were reunited with Guru Vasishtha, Bharata and Shatrughana. As each of the devotees in the welcoming party rushed to his side, Rama secretly manifested himself in numerous forms so that he could meet personally with each and every individual within a moment. So he made everybody feel loved and special and gave them personal attention by multiplying himself. He is God, he is Lord Narayana's avatara, so they have that potentiality, and the same Lord Rama also resides in our heart. Having given joy to all, Rama proceeded to greet his mother Kaushalya as well as mothers Sumitra and Kaikeyi. Knowing that Kaikeyi was still feeling shame internally, Rama spent extra time with her and talked to her about the secrets of the divine plan so that her heart would be at peace. So this is why Ramayana is such a profound scripture, because any ordinary person who was sentenced to 14 years instead of being king, being pushed into the forest, would have held a grudge, would have held lots of anger, animosity and venom against Kaikeyi, but not Lord Rama. He understood that we are all doing part of the divine plan and we are all cogs in that big operation. So he didn't make her feel bad, and that is why he is the Lord, whereas most average people get upset over little things and decide not to forgive the other person. So this is a great lesson for all of us to understand the qualities we need to inculcate within ourselves. After the reunion was complete, Rama, Sita and Lakshmana as well as Bharata were bathed and their matted logs were disentangled, because now they are getting ready for getting their essential status, which is royalty. Then they were adorned in royal attire and groomed for Rama's coronation ceremony. Seeing that the right time had come for that auspicious occasion, sage Vasishtha asked the attendants to bring forth the divine throne which shone like the blazing sun. Bowing his head before the Brahmins and sages, Rama then led Sita to sit with him upon that glorious throne so that his long-awaited coronation could take place. Uttarkanda presents the highest summit of mystical movement, the attainment of liberation. Rama's return to Ayodhya and coronation symbolizes the spirit's return to its own essential nature. Kingdom of heaven, going back within the self. This is the mystical, deeper meaning. The establishing of unity with the absolute. When the soul has triumphed over all limitations, when it has conquered the realm of ignorance and is securely joined with intuitional intellect, which is called prajna, it becomes the ruler of all, the emperor of emperors, which is what is reminded to us by all sages and saints, by all scriptures, that is our essential nature. We are not this body, mind, intellect, ego, what we normally see and interact and behave in the world. We are the pure Atman, consciousness, and that is the true knowledge we should go after. It is no longer subjugated by matter. One attains Jivan Mukti, or liberation in life. While you are alive, you are enlightened. And that is an irreversible proceeding. That means no more birth and death. And while you are alive for the rest of your time, you are rooted in God and you are in bliss. Pushpaka Vimana represents the enlightened chitta or mind, which is like an aerial car that carries the soul across the ocean of the world process back to the heart or center of its personality, Ayodhya. Rama sending the aerial car back to Kubera mystically implies keeping the mind tuned to the cosmic mind during the state of Jivan Mukti or liberation. So next episode is Hanuman's unique devotion. There is an interesting and profoundly symbolic story about the coronation of Rama that highlights the amazing glory and devotion of Hanumanji. According to this popular legend, after the coronation ceremony had concluded, Sri Rama began to give gifts to all his devotees. First, he presented Sita with an extraordinarily garland of precious and expensive stones, jewelry. When Sita placed that garland on her neck, the whole assembly hall seemed to be illumined by the effulgence of the diamonds and the precious jewels. Then Rama gave wonderful gifts to everyone else. However, he left out Hanuman for the moment because he did not know what gift could be suitable for such a devotee. He could not see anything in the world that could repay Hanuman's services towards him. Seeing Rama in that predicament, Sita expressed her desire to offer a present to Hanuman by her very hands. Sita Mata. She treated Hanumanji like she was his mother. At the indication of Sita, Hanuman rose, brimming with devotion, and approached Sita. And to the amazement of all the assembled kings and monarchs, Sita placed the very same garland that Rama had given her on the neck of Hanuman. Hanumanji bowed his head in supreme reverence before Sita and Rama and then gracefully retired to his seat. At that time, the eyes of all the Kshatriya kings became focused on Hanumanji. They thought within themselves, Hanuman has attained the greatest treasure ever attained by anyone in this world. Every precious stone in that garland is worth many, many kingdoms. How fortunate is Hanuman, but how can he, a great monkey, know the worth of these treasures? To add to their consternation, Hanumanji took the garland from his neck and placed it on his knees. He looked at the precious stones with his piercing eyes. Even Rama and Sita were looking at Hanuman with amusement. And then Hanumanji began to act just like a monkey. He placed the garland in his mouth and crunched on a shining diamond, breaking that gem into pieces. Then he looked into each of the pieces as if searching for something and seemed disappointed because he did not find what he was looking for. At that first scenario with the diamond breaking, a terrible feeling entered the hearts of the kings and emperors. They whispered among themselves, Sita did not do well to give this priceless treasure to a monkey. Soon Hanumanji began to repeat the same act, and he went on crunching on the precious gems one after another. With great suspense, the kings watched, thinking, will someone stop this monkey from destroying these priceless gems? Finally, unable to control themselves, they spoke out through their representative. O Hanuman, don't you know the value of the gems which you have been breaking ruthlessly, one by one? How could you destroy a living gift that was given to you by Goddess Sita herself? So with this, we will conclude today's satsang. I hope you are enjoying this wonderful and immersive story and Uttarkanda of the Ramayana. We will continue in tomorrow's satsang. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Om Tat Sat.